Welcome to season 2. That's stupid. You got me a hello. Season 2. Can't get this picture off. Here we are.
Way to kick it off.
Season 2. We are better than ever. Thank you for joining us for season 2 premiere. This is scheduled to be released in 3 years. Because we are ahead a lot. But no, season 2 premieres tonight. We've got some big news coming to you in a small package. It is the fact that Mike...
Not awkward at all.
The fact that Mike is joining us full-time as a third dad on the podcast. So it is now 3 dads, 1 podcast. We've even put the money into updating it from 2 to 3. And while I was there, I highlighted season 2. So I'm very excited. But thank you, Mike, for joining us. What made you want to join us other than us asking you to do so?
I actually enjoy spending time with you two, believe it or not, even though we fight about everything when it comes to everything on this podcast. But it's fun, honestly. Thank you so much for asking me to be full-time on here. Hopefully our listener, hopefully Tina can put up with me every week now.
Wait, you think Tina's listening?
Oh, that's true too. That's true.
She's asleep.
But no, I look forward to it, and hopefully big things to come.
Nice. Well, that was the big news. So if you joined in for that, you can leave now.
Yep.
We are going to head into the actual podcast, but Mike is joining us full time. That's big news because Mike is into the podcast like we are, and so he is busy out there promoting and getting us shows. He was responsible for getting the show last week with the interview with Richard Fonseca, who was the graphic design artist for Wrestlers, among many other things. And it was our highest rated episode to date, and we haven't even released it yet. It was our highest rated live episode. We have over 230 views on that episode. So big thanks to Mike and to Rick for coming on the show. And
big thank you to Rick.
Yeah. And if you're listening tonight, thank you so much. And there's many more interviews to come down the line, which we will mention later in later episodes. But we're very excited. But for tonight, we are doing the top 90s TV theme songs. And this was a fun one to go back and listen to. What did you guys think about when you were listening to some of these 90s TV shows?
I feel like I didn't even have to listen to them. Like, as soon as we had the name down of whatever show it was, I was like, yeah, I remember that. Like that. These are some iconic. I've been throwing that word around a lot lately, but these are iconic theme songs.
Iconics.
Iconics.
That's it. I can't remember how it goes.
We had a tough time too because we had to settle in the 90s. We were trying to figure out, like, do we just do of all time? Like, that's too many, way too many. So hopefully do the 90s justice.
Yeah, and even narrowing down the 90s was pretty tough. My list somehow ended up as big as both of yours put together. I don't know if that means I watched too much TV as a kid, or if I have different standards for what's a good theme song. So this could be interesting.
Did it have a boom boom, a ding ding? Yeah, it's a good one. And so for anybody who's listening, you might get upset because you're not going to hear Full House on here. You're not going to see Family Matters. We stuck to, if your show started prior to the 90s, so like shows like that, you're excluded. They started in the 80s, they would be considered in the 80s. That is a bracket that we have not yet seen. So yep. This is totally up in the air. And then we're going to get some shows towards the end of the 90s that maybe didn't really make it big until the 2000s, but we considered it a 90s show because that's when it started. So if you're questioning any of those dates, we didn't really fact check. So, hey, it is what it is.
I think I caught one before we got too deep into the bracket, but that was it.
Yeah. America's Funniest Home Videos. Sorry, guys.
So we've already made fans mad today with that, but There are some good ones on here. And again, I'm the only one who's actually seen the bracket prior to it. I tried not to pay too close of attention because I like to just kind of decide on the fly. But these guys have not seen them at all. We've decided on the top 16 together, but we did not understand which would be facing off against which until just now. So feel free to join the conversation here on Facebook or on YouTube. We're on YouTube today as well on our Udemy at Hello, and I think that's where we'll be moving forward here on Facebook and also on our YouTube. We have abandoned Twitch. The one viewer that we thought we had was probably just me. So I don't think we'll be going there anymore. We may be too old for Twitch, I think.
That just goes to show how much our fans pay attention when they're on a platform that we don't even pay attention to.
We should go on TikTok.
That's true.
We should have like TikTok dances.
TikTok top 90s theme song dances.
It's all the rage.
And we have to act them out. I do not want to see your silhouette challenge.
We'd lose everyone.
Silhouette or sweaty wet? I couldn't hear you.
Good for you both.
All right, well, let's just get right into it. 90s TV theme songs. As Andy said, Full House is not winning today, but it could be one of these guys. In Living Color versus Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? I'm already going to tell you it's just In Living Color for me.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
With a three-way.
For reasons we would talk about later, I'm assuming. But yeah, definitely In Living Color.
Yeah, I mean, Carmen Sandiego, it's one of those shows where I have good thoughts about it. I remember watching it all the time. It was just one of those shows, but I don't remember a lot about it. I remember the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, song, but I don't remember too much other than the Chief and the fact that it was a game show. But I remember it was an a cappella version that was sung at the end of the show. Yes,
the group is called Rockapella. You like that?
Very good. But yeah, that's you can.
Yeah, that's basically all I remember too. Is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was in sync.
You're almost like a singer.
It's like we make music together. I smell a Carmen Sandiego cover coming.
Yeah, we should. Oh my god! So at the very end, Rockapella would always come on and they would sing over the credits, the ending credits. So they did make their faces known. Besides that, there's not really much to it.
No, I mean,
In Living Color is moving on.
Yeah, I guess it made it onto a soundtrack album for the TV show, and then also on a compilation, Television's Greatest Hits Volume 7 of cable TV that was released on TVT Records.
They had their own CD. Like, what other songs were possibly in this show?
I don't know. I didn't do that much research.
Somebody look it up.
All right. Well, In Living Color gets to move on. We'll talk about that later. But right now, we have Power Rangers versus South Park. We were just talking about this before we got on, guys, and I'm a little disappointed in Andy, but Power Rangers all the way. Power Rangers is such an iconic rock song. Everybody just go Power Rangers. It's so good. It was remastered in 2012. I just listened to it today. It sounds even better. So I'm going to go with Power Rangers, even though the real true Power Rangers is really only season 1 and the 2 movies that came out in the 90s. Everything else where they went to space and all that stuff.
Who was it? Power Rangers and who?
South Park.
South Park. Yeah.
Oh, South Park all the way.
Let me bring up my cool side thing here. Yeah,
wow, that was cool. I'm gonna have to go with Power Rangers. And I love Primus. I love Primus. I love Les Claypool. But when I think of 90s, like, the Power Rangers theme song exudes 90s. It has shredding guitars. It's layered. I don't know. There's like
X.
Yeah. Only one X though. We don't want to go too adult. Yeah. I don't know. Power Rangers all the way, man. Power Rangers.
Maybe it's because I didn't watch the show. I was not into. I just wasn't into it. Like, I think it was on when I was more of like, I'm gonna go outside and play. And so it was like, I felt like it was like right after school. Like that, I know I had friends that watched it and they would always be like, I got to go home and watch Power Rangers. And I was like, okay, have fun. So I'm a little disappointed that South Park didn't win, because that's just a very interesting song and it's changed so much over the years. Can we recite the Kenny lyrics?
I just looked those up today. I had no idea they were so inappropriate.
I don't think we should.
Super
I just told
inappropriate.
Jessie about it. She didn't know either. She used to watch South Park, and I looked those up, and I was like, wow. The only season we can talk about is when he was really dead, and Timmy took over for the season.
Yeah.
And it said Timmy, 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 Timmy.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not what he said; it's how he said it, though. So I'm pretty sure we shouldn't even talk about that.
Yeah, let's not go down that road either. Yeah. I feel like everybody knows the South Park song, but everybody knows the Power Rangers song too. So,
and South Park is just it's raunchy and inappropriate for everyone.
Truth.
So I like it.
Big hello to Jessie and Eliza, who's staying up late to listen in.
Nice.
And probably going to bed now that I've said
so we definitely should not recite the lyrics.
Yeah, keep it PG. Very PG.
Right now,
keep it PG for Rick too.
About murder.
She's looking it up right now, Googling.
Next up, we have That 70s Show versus All That. This one's tough because it's a show that I completely hate versus a show I didn't watch much of. But TLC, All That. I'm going to go with that. All That is that. That I'll be going with.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with All That as well.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I honestly could have gone either way. I think I might have picked the 70s show, only because same reason as Andy, not watching Power Rangers. I didn't watch a lot of All That back in the day, but I did remember the theme song.
We're all right. Was that a Cheap Trick?
So Cheap Trick actually didn't record it until the 3rd season.
Okay.
So the 1st season was actually a cover version of that song from a band called Big Star.
Big Star.
I think it was. Yeah, Big Star. And then eventually it was remixed, re-recorded, whatever you want to call it, by Cheap Trick for season 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Big Star was a band that you didn't really hear too much of. They were supposed to blow up, and it just didn't happen. But they have a lot of influence. I know REM says that they influenced them a lot. The version that we know is the Cheap Trick version. So one of the band members in Big Star passed away really early from a tragic car accident. The other member never watched the show, never heard Cheap Trick's version of the tune, but gets paid royalties off of every time that it airs.
Nice.
And ironically enough, $70 an episode.
Wow.
So he calls it that $70 show.
That's fun.
So
that's a deep dive. That was good.
Yeah, so we need
No
to
wonder you have 30 pages of notes.
Yeah, so we need to create a song, get it on TV, and just sit there and collect the royalties. Hopefully not the $5 show, but something a little more.
$5 foot long.
Yeah.
But anyways, hey, hi to Mary Lou, who just
Mary Lou.
And thank you guys for putting in your votes here, Lori, with 70s, who is now disappointed. And Mary Lou at 70s as well. But it is All That.
We got the moms on.
All right. Well,
About to get shamed.
We've got Step by Step versus Dawsons Creek.
I feel like this one's going to get heated.
No, step by step for me.
Oh, come on. Dawsons Creek, Paula Cole. I don't want to wait.
You just proved my point.
It's a good song. It's first off, it's a good song on its own. And then now whenever I hear it, let's think of Dawsons Creek. And Dawsons Creek's a great show. It lasted a very long time. A lot of great people on the show who are still doing things. What's Step by Step doing other than being in court and breaking laws and stuff? I don't know. Step by Step. First off, Cody left the show for like a year because he was being investigated for stuff. And then he was brought back because he was, clean. But Dawson's Creek, come on, Joshua Jackson, whatever her name is, that married Tom Cruise.
Listen, we're talking about the song.
Yeah,
but it brings back those memories. Dawson's Creek. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait.
All right.
I couldn't wait for that song to be over.
Yeah.
I am
pretty much. You are losing this one. It is Step by Step all the way.
Well,
thank you, Rick.
It looks like Rick agrees.
It almost wasn't that song on Dawson's Creek.
I heard. Who was it again?
It was going to be Alanis Morissette.
Yes.
Hand in My Pocket. They actually recorded that on the pilot episode. And then I don't know what happened. I guess the network loved Morissette's song, but she's actually the one who stepped back and said no. Don't.
I do remember reading that. Yeah, that would have been a fine song too. But I think Dawson's Creek probably went with it a little bit more. We've got some fighting going on. Mary Lou agrees with me with Dawson's Creek, but Caitlin, Step by Step. But anyway,
not to mention the Dawson's Creek theme song is super depressing. It's about her like realizing that she didn't have a lot of time left with her parents or her dad.
I think it was her. Yeah.
That's I don't want that.
Sorry, you don't like emotional songs.
Hold on. We're not done with the bracket yet. Okay.
Step by Step makes me cry. So, if you want to hear that song, Dawson's Creek's on Netflix. It's not going to be on there. So people were very upset when they were watching Dawson's Creek and it was not on there because Sony, I believe it was, basically, didn't want to pay for it.
They failed to secure the rights for the online streaming service. Yeah, they actually replaced it with like a Canadian folk artist song, "Run Like Mad," I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I love the song. Alanis Morissette is also good. We were actually listening to her just the other day on the way home from IKEA.
Said every white person ever.
It's the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Were you drinking a foam latte too on the
way? We stopped at our Starbucks and oh my word. Okay.
I had a picnic in the park.
With that said, I guess we're done. It's about that time. Oh, I picked the wrong one.
You screwed yourself.
I didn't have the song. One more minute. All right. Anyways, moving on. Unless there's anything more you wanted to mention.
No, let's move on.
No,
all right.
No more.
Well, next up we have Doug versus the X-Files because that makes sense. Doug versus the X-Files.
Coincidentally, I watched both of these shows as a kid.
I watched my mom both too. Yeah. I just realized you're wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt. Was that purposeful for the 90s?
No, it wasn't because it's from the 80s.
Whoa, gosh! All right. Put me on blast.
I didn't watch X-Files.
It's too scary.
It was actually very much so, but I always remember the do 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 do.
It is a good song. I actually listened to it again today, and there was a lot of good harmonizing in it. It's actually a very good song.
Yeah, I'm going with Doug.
But then you have
yeah. I'm going with the X-Files. They're both good though, but I'm going with the X-Files. My wife says you've been burned.
I was. I called you out and you corrected me. There's a short-lived stint on our podcast, my thing.
We already paid for the 3 dads.
Next week is season 3. Yeah, I don't know. So I love X-Files. It's a great show. But I wasn't super into it. I don't remember a lot of the storylines. The song, actually, I remember the most because Pure Moods was a 90s CD that had a commercial on TV, and it was always X-Files was on it. Enya was on it.
Orinoco Flow.
Yes, it was actually. And I remember my friend had the CD, and I heard it all the time. But I'm going to go with Doug on this one. It was actually Darkness from the UWA.
Oh, wow.
Doug, I think, is going to move on, right?
Yeah, so you voted out a song that went straight to #2 on the UK singles chart. That's how popular the X-Files theme song was.
Guys? Regardless, it's Doug. Like, the only thing I remember about X-Files is the song. Like, I didn't have to watch a show. Like, as soon as someone says X-Files, you hear it. Like, it's just that very creepy opening. The first 10 seconds, and after that, I'm kind of like, all right, is the show coming on or not? Like, it's like if it was just like, if it wasn't part of the show and it was just kind of like, I'm going to get a massage and that's what they're playing next to like the next song after Enya, I'd be like, this is all right. I like this song. It's relaxing.
Where are you going to get massages?
Yeah.
X-Files theme song?
Mars, actually. The aliens coming on.
Those aren't massages, Andy. Those are aliens.
Those are probes.
Oh, my word. You're making this editing get real tough for me.
I like how you said,
season
hey,
2 is
Andy.
raunchier, guys.
I like how you were like, hey, Andy, can you edit these videos going forward? And I was like, sure. And I did one. You were like, I'm going to edit the rest of them.
No, it's just because you talked about how badly your program was, and it was just more hassle listening to you than just doing it myself.
Hey, let's talk about the X-Files song. It's not really.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
You don't want to talk about it? All right.
No,
There's not much to say. It's I want to like David Duchovny more than I do, but I like Doug. So let's move on. Doug's moving on.
Doug funny.
And Andy, just to throw it out there, I'm going to give you the next one. I'm finishing up the top 2000s comedies currently. So I'll give you the one after that. I think it's Richard Fonseca's interview, actually. Okay. All right. Well, hey, moving on. We've got a tough one, I think, for you guys. Not for me, but here it is. Friends versus Family Guy. Friends versus Family Guy. Tough one. Both iconic shows. One of them has 39 million seasons, and the other is Friends. I'm going to vote for Friends because I legit liked the Rembrandts. I legit liked I'll Be There For You. I thought it was a great song. 4 claps. And it's just a great song overall.
I owned the Rembrandts cassette tape.
Well,
that might be the whitest thing that someone said on here.
I don't like them that much. It is. It's 4 claps.
4 claps. Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Friends for me. What about you guys?
Mike, who are you going with?
Oh, why you gonna put this on me, man?
Like, I think we're both. All 3 of us are in that. We've seen Friends about 1 billion times. Mm-hmm. But I've also seen Family Guy every single episode, and there's one theme song I don't skip. And that's why I'm choosing Family Guy.
Oh gosh, Tina better be asleep. And if not, you're gonna be.
Oh man,
we have a Friends and a Family Guy.
She doesn't like the song either.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. I would legit listen to the Rembrandts. I mean, I like the Family Guy theme song too. It's just not as good.
All right, calm down about the Rembrandts, jeez. We'll do a Rembrandts tribute episode another day.
Oh man, this is a really tough decision.
I mean, you should just listen to your family. I feel like.
Yeah. My whole family is saying Friends, so I guess if I want to wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna go with Friends.
All right. Friends is moving
Friends
on.
It is.
I don't give in the peer pressure.
That's why he has many friends. So.
The Family Guy theme song, super great. Frank Sinatra Jr.'s cover of the song is even better, I think. But I don't know. I see what they were trying to do with the song, kind of harken back to the old, like sitcoms from back in the day. I don't know. Friends is so much fun. They're dancing around in the fountain and
Yeah, most of the cast, just like Andy, did not like the theme song. But talking about the other one, Family Guy, I always used to like the whole argument between laugh and cry and F and cry.
I thought it was F and cry for the longest time.
Yeah, I always thought it was a play on words where they did both. It was kind of like sung over each other because there was a couple System of a Down songs that I always felt had and Disturbed songs that I felt like had like a swear in the background somewhere there. I was convinced. But Family Guy, I thought so too. But Seth did end up saying that it was not ever there.
Yeah, they had to re-record it to make it a little bit more audible because there's such confusion over it. So, Family Guy started in 99. So if people are wondering, like, how is that on there? Because it was really more popular in the 2000s. That's because that's when it started. But it was basically an homage to All in the Family. Lois and Peter there.
I can see that.
Archie Bunker and Edith. So this song actually won an Annie Award. So I was like, what the heck is an Annie Award? So it's they recognize excellence in animation shown in cinema and television. So, at least somebody liked it besides the two other people on this podcast.
Well, I don't hate it.
I know, I like Family Guy.
You made your decision. It's fine.
I did. And that means Family Guy is gone forever. Listen, it's canceled.
I will still be there for you.
It made it into the top 16 of all 90s songs, which is more than I can say for a lot of my favorites that you guys did not allow on, which we'll talk about later. But next up is a battle of the kids shows. We have Salute Your Shorts versus Rugrats.
Ooh.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, Salute Your Shorts is one of those shows, just like Are You Afraid of the Dark, in my opinion, which I don't know why that's not on here either.
It's on my list.
When you listen to it later, or when you watch it later, you realize it was a much better show then than it is now. Rugrats, however, timeless. It went on to spawn that awesome song by Maya, the Rugrats Take Me There, I think it was. That great song. So I'm going to go with Rugrats over Salute Your Shorts, even though I do love the intro to Salute Your Shorts. And I think I have an agree from my old friend Patty from work.
I'm going to have to go with Rugrats also. And I love the Salute Your Shorts theme song. It's super funny. But the Rugrats theme song, I think it's just held up better. Like the Salute Your Shorts is kind of stuck in the era where it was written and sort of created. I think Rugrats you can throw it on TV now and it would hang with any of the new shows that are out there for kids or young-minded folks like myself.
I would have went with Salute Your Shorts. I think I said this on a previous episode, but it's not a show that I watched. But all my friends, like summer camps and things like that, they always would sing the Camp Anawana song, and that's all I remember of it. And it's such a recognizable song, and it's really funny, and it's Camp Anawana.
It makes us
we'll do it our heart. When we think about you, it makes us want to fart. Like it's a fart joke, hook, line, and sinker. You got me for a classic song. But yeah, Rugrats is iconic. So.
And I think it's coming back for a revival, if I'm not mistaken, on the Paramount channel, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
So they had the All Grown Up also, right?
Yes. Yep, yeah. I think it was All Growed Up.
All Growed Up.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be funny.
Grammar.
Yeah. But anyways, next up in the final one in the top 16, we have Buffy, the Vampire Slayer versus Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. No contest here. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yep. Fresh Prince.
Wow. Andy does not have any love for Buffy.
I mean, he's the one who put it on here, I think.
Yeah. I don't hate the Buffy song, but it's up against Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the Buffy theme song's awesome. And it was actually so good that they re-recorded it. The same band, Nerf Herder, is the band that wrote the song and then re-recorded it again after the first season because it was so good. The first version of the song was actually just a song that had laying around, and they were approached by Joss Whedon and the producers of the show, and they were like, "Hey,
Joss Whedon did which show?
Buffy."
Oh, okay, I didn't know that because he went on to do Firefly, which I really, really like.
Yep. He's done a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so I guess Allison Hannigan, who played Willow, was a huge fan of the band, made him listen to a bunch of the CDs, and eventually he was just like, yeah, these guys are cool. They should, maybe do the theme song for the show. And they just had a song kicking around, and they loved it so much, and then re-recorded it for the second season. And it's a huge song, so nice. I like it a lot.
Well, it looks like that is moving on. Fresh Prince. We are now in the top 8, guys. This is a fast-moving podcast today. It's because we're in season 2. It's a barn burner, but we are in season 2, episode 22. We have had 22 episodes. And again, if you hadn't heard or you're just coming in, we used to be 2 Dads, 1 podcast. Today and forevermore, we are 3 Dads, 1 podcast. Mike is joining the Dad.
Cool, I swear.
Possibly.
Yeah, wait forever. That was
no, I don't think so, but it sounds like it. But yeah, Mike is joining the podcast, so I'm very happy. We now are a 3 Dads.
I was gonna say, I think most people who have watched some of our things will be like, oh, Mike wasn't already on there because you've been on more than half of the episode.
That's true. But we updated our logo.
We made it official.
It says 3 Dads. Yeah, we made it official.
We jumped him in. Now he's forever in our game.
Actually, they changed the logo before they even asked me, so I kind of had to join.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, you did all that work on the logo, so now I have to."
We had a 3rd dad on standby just in case.
We do other things too. We do music. Mike has not wormed his way into that yet, but when he does, he better get it quick because it's 1 more minute till the end of the night. But how could we end when it feels so right? But yeah, we have music. It's available on YouTube. It's available on Spotify, anywhere you can get your music along with our podcasts. I think we just released our Death and Life remix, which for you guys, if you're listening later, is a good month old, but it's still fresh and it's really good. You should check it out. But now we're in season 2 of the podcast. Really, that doesn't mean too much else other than the fact that we're just more serious about it now. And Mike is in there, and he'll be posting really funny things on the Facebook page. But that's
I posted something funny yesterday.
That's true.
You did. That was great.
That was like the one funny thing I could come up with.
I credit you with all of the viewers we have currently watching live. They saw your promo.
You got them. Hook, line, and sinker.
Well, we are in the top 8, guys, and I'm excited. There's some good shows on here, none which I will go back and watch anytime soon. But here they are.
You don't know that.
That's true. In Living Color versus Power Rangers. It's the battle of the 90s, I feel like. Rap, hip-hop versus rock.
I was going to say this whole episode is a battle of the 90s.
I guess that's true.
A battle royale of the 90s.
Yeah, I'm going with the Living Color.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do the same. As much as I love the Power Rangers theme song, there's more substance to the In Living Color theme song.
Yeah, I love In Living Color's song, and I love the show. It's a great show. Power Rangers was only good for a season. I feel like In Living Color was kind of timeless. So I'm going to go with In Living Color as well. So it is a 3-way for In Living Color.
Yeah. I don't know. What's to say about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
I'm not even sure I had any notes.
I do.
It was called Go-Go Power Rangers.
That's in my notes.
Look up the re-recording in 2012. It's really cool. It's a good re-recording.
There's a band called Power Glove that covers like popular video game and TV show themes, and they have a really good cover of the Power Rangers theme song. But that's about all I got.
So,
and it went to space.
Ron, I'm gonna butcher it. Wasserman is the guy who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So he did the guitar riff. Then he was just like, "All right, I'm just gonna go crazy with it." And he sang on it too. And he had these really like pitchy vocals, but just enough to just get something down. And I guess the next day, Fox came in and was like, yeah, we love the theme. We're going to go with it. And he's like, who are you going to have to sing? And they're like, no, that's the way, like your version. And he was like, oh, okay. So yeah.
The movie version was even better because it had members of Mr. Big and a whole bunch of like old like the ex-drummer from Guns N' Roses, Matt Sorum.
Nice.
Who so there were some big hitters for the movie version of the song.
Yeah.
Which if that had made it on the list may have won this whole thing because it's so amazing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is another one where I didn't watch a show, but I know the song. Like, so they did something right with the theme song. Like,
All right. Well, next up, we've got All That versus Step by Step.
oh shoot.
This is where I voted against Step by Step originally, but against All That, which I love All That. But Step by Step is such a fun, wholesome song. Second time around, you know, I'm gonna go with that Step by Step.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Ooh, okay.
Good, because I didn't have an answer.
Well, your wife did, and it was Step by Step.
I guess so. I would have used her answer, I suppose. They're both good, though.
I mean, all of that is still, it's very, very memorable. Like, I know you guys didn't really watch it. I watched it all the time. So I was really big into that show. It was really funny. Young Keenan and Kel, you know, this is where they kind of took off before doing their Good Burger stuff. And
launched a lot of careers.
Yeah. So it was a really, really good show. Funny. They actually did a remake in 2019. Chance the Rapper did that version. But TLC actually recorded this at the height of their popularity when they were actually recording their album, which was about me, called Crazy Sexy Cool. So yeah, kudos to them. You know, you hear Left Eye rapping on there too.
And I was just talking about how I wish Left Eye had rapped a lot more than she did. Because that Waterfalls rap, I was listening to that on the way back from IKEA.
I mean, she's got a whole album.
Starbucks. Does she?
I think so.
I don't know if I knew that. Okay. But yeah, actually all that came out with an album too. It had Coolio, Aaliyah, Faith Evans, Naughty by Nature, Brandy, which is like, you know, a great mix of 90s artists.
The 90s, boom.
Yeah.
And the producer for that song produced like 112 and Monica and like all the huge names back then. So it explains why the song is so good.
Was that his name? Was it Dallas Austin? Or?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, he's a Boyz II Men guy, Dallas Austin. He did pretty much all of Boyz II Men's 2 album, which is amazing. Anyways, moving on. We've lost 8 viewers due to that Dallas Austin mix. But we've got Doug versus Friends. I'm going with Friends. I mean, come on, do versus I'll be there for you. Like, it's clearly Friends.
I mean, all right, you kind of got me there.
Someone's gonna do a mashup of those.
Yeah, I'll have to go with Friends on it. Even though I voted for one, not the other, the first one. But
it happens. So
when I went back to listen to the Doug theme song, somehow I ended up listening to the Disney version, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember this song at all. So I guess when Doug made its way over to Disney, maybe they didn't have the rights to that.
They ruined the show
song. That theme song was not good. The second theme song was bad.
Yeah, if you go back and listen to one of our old episodes, we actually talk, I think, a little bit about how Doug moved over to Disney and they ruined the show. So feel free to search in our many 21 episodes prior to this.
I mean, the song. Yeah, sorry, go.
I was going to say the song was written by Fred Newman, who voices Skeeter.
Yeah, Fred Newman is a like Hall of Fame voice actor. So yeah, he did Skeeter, he did Mr. Dink, and he did Pork Chop the dog in the series. But he's also done
the hardest one, the dog.
Yeah, but he's also done voices and sound effects and other things like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Grand Theft Auto 2, Harry and the Hendersons, Gremlins, And he also was the co-host of the all-new Mickey Mouse Club show, which at that time had Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake. So he's been around.
Well, next up we have I don't know where to go from that.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god! Oh man, you cut away right. The hell happened? You okay?
I think his whole ring light just fell on him.
Yeah, I fixed it. I fixed it.
Good. It's good to
fix it. I'm so good. I fixed it so fast. No.
Oh my god.
Luckily, we cut away from that. We wouldn't want people to see that devastation.
Hopefully, we caught enough so when we edit it for the re-release, we can just play it on replay.
All right. Well, before that happened, we were talking about Rugrats versus the Fresh Prince of BelAir.
This
seems very unfair.
Yeah, this is no contest.
Yeah,
it's Rugrats. Yeah, Fresh Prince.
Yep.
Yeah, Fresh Prince.
I'm showing my kids currently, a couple of years ago, I was starting to show them Rugrats. And it's such a good show. It really is. There's a little bit of inappropriate humor in there that I forgot about. But overall, it's a great show. And so it's nice to have my kids watch some of the stuff that I remember growing up. We started to watch Fresh Prince, but I've got to be careful of which episode we choose for my kids. But
yeah, it's a little more straightforward than Rugrats was. Rugrats sort of hides the adult jokes in there.
That's true.
So we get them now, but way over my head back then.
Yeah. So the Rugrats song was Mark Mothersbaugh. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So
Mothersbaugh.
Do you know who he was?
He was the founder of IKEA.
No. So he was in the band Devo. Who sang
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
You didn't know that. Be quiet. So
no, I did know that. Ask my wife how much
right.
useless information I have.
No, that's true. You know a lot of useless stuff. So he has also done other TV shows. So besides Rugrats, he's done Beakman's World, Clifford the Big Red Dog. He did the new theme song for Felix the Cat. He did some stuff for Pee-wee's Playhouse in the 90s. Also the Super Mario World TV series. He was also the character design for Chucky Finster in Rugrats.
That makes sense.
And then he's also done stuff for video games too, for Crash Bandicoot. Some stuff for EA Games. Like,
it's a classic game.
Crash Bandicoot. And then Mike, you'll be interested in this too. He's also appeared on the Aquabats Super Show. So I know Jordan likes that one.
Jordan's all about the Aquabats.
So this dude's been everywhere and has done everything. So I was having a lot of fun looking up like the stories of behind the scenes of like some of these people. I'm like, who would think like dude from Devo did this? Right? Like, man, he whipped him up good.
Well, we are in the top 4.
Oh, I should have brought. Oh man, we have a popcorn maker that looks exactly like the Devo hat. I should wear it. Or get like a lampshade.
We are in the top 4 in our debut episode of season 2 of the Dab Me a Hello podcast, which, by the way, you can get on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere else you can get your audio podcasts. And we are joined today again by Mike, who is joining the podcast full time. So it is now 3 dads, 1 podcast. If you're just joining and you're wondering where is my full house, where is the Golden Girls, where is Family Matters, we are doing the 90s episodes, and you had to start in the 90s. So any shows that were on in the 90s, hence Cheers, Golden Girls, some of my favorites for theme songs, they're not on the list. But we have a great top 4, I think. You guys ready for this? It is In Living Color, Step by Step, Friends, and The Fresh Prince. And I didn't realize, but Friends and The Fresh Prince are on the same side. So one of them is getting kicked out before the finals. But right now, let's do it. In Living Color versus Step by Step. Wholesome, Step by Step versus hip-hop-ish, In Living Color. I didn't mean to make it sound like In Living Color or hip-hop was not wholesome. But
it's a very wholesome song because it
did have the Fly Girls.
Yeah. In Living Color for me on this one.
RJ?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to give a little background here. In Living Color is just the better show. It brings back memories. Hearing the In Living Color song, I remember so many of the skits and so many great actors on that show, and the 500 weigh-ins that are on it. Step by Step, it just wasn't my show. It was kind of like I'd watch it if it was on, but it was no Family Matters or Full House. So I'm gonna go with In Living Color on this one.
All right. I really don't know. I watched Step by Step. I actually started watching it again on Hulu. It was a really good show. It was really funny. I think it was part of that classic TJF, collection of shows, and that was one of the ones I wanted to stay up and watch. I probably would have went with Step by Step only because I feel like the lyrics are more memorable. As far like A Living Color, like you remember bits and pieces of it, but as a collection of a song, it gets jumbled up a little bit here and there. That's probably because Heavy D just has a faster rhyme style, and I am horrific at trying to pick up lyrics. Like it doesn't matter what style, like rock songs, forget it. I have no idea to this day what people are saying in rock songs. Like that is like one of the hardest things for me to understand.
RJ, he doesn't even know what you're saying.
No, half the time,
he always asks me to send.
I always ask for the lyrics. I swear, like I don't know. Hip hop lyrics, I actually can sit down and pick up a little bit more. But rock songs, I don't know. So they kind of fade into each other.
Well, In Living Color is moving on into the finals.
Yeah.
And it's going to be going against one of the two better shows probably of all time.
Do we want to talk about Step by Step? Do you guys have anything?
I don't have anything else to say about it. Richard Duffy.
That's
it.
Duffy?
Well, whatever his name is.
And that Sasha guy. Sasha, whatever his name was.
And what was her name? Wasn't she a supermodel, the wife? What was her name? Suzanne Summers. Remember? Yeah.
She did the Thigh Master. Is that
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have
grandparents have that, Mike?
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like
somebody
had.
Step by Step is pretty
isn't
much
it?
just an updated version of the Brady Bunch, and it was
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
good show.
RJ, you guys right now are the updated version of the Brady Bunch.
Yes,
I have the song lyrics, and they're kind of, I don't know. They're all right. Yeah, they're super cheesy. And it's, about the families getting together and having a fresh start.
It was not Dick Duffy. It was Patrick Duffy.
Yes, Patrick Duffy from what was he on? Dallas?
Dallas. Yeah. He's a very prominent actor, and I messed his name up, so I apologize.
Dude was the ladies' man. For sure.
That's it. All right.
I don't really have any notes on Step by Step. Second time around. Yeah.
Second time around.
But it really set the tone for the show. Like, and everybody's at the amusement park and water splashed on. I'm like,
yeah, and you get this a lot. You get that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. Yes. Featuring Andy. I like the double looks, the one where they're just like. If you're listening on Spotify, please go to YouTube and watch that. It's pretty good. I've perfected that over time.
For anyone mad that Full House was not on here, it was written by the same guy who also wrote Family Matters, Full House, Step by Step. I think he may have even written the theme for Perfect Strangers.
Ooh,
I think Perfect Strangers was actually the first song he had written for them, and then they were like, "Hey, man, how about we just pay you to write all of the songs so we don't have to hire anybody else?"
Let me tell you, that's a sweet gig. That was like Jim Johnston in WWF. Like,
that's true.
You're our in-house, music maker. Just go for it. And he was just like,
"Who, me?
Me?
Yeah."
Oh man. Yeah. So, anyways, all that being said, In Living Color is moving into the finals, and we are facing off against two of the biggest shows of all time, not even the 90s, of all time, and it is Friends versus The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Ooh.
I don't even want to pick.
I do. It's Fresh Prince.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I love Fresh Prince. I think Fresh Prince for me, it might be the better overall show.
I know most of the words to the Fresh Prince theme song.
I mean, I know
Well,
most
it
of the
was
words
the better
to
show
Rembrandt,
because we
too.
picked it as the winner.
That's true, but Friends, were they on it? Were they? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it came down to these two. It was this was the finals of our top 90s TV shows. So spoiler alert.
Wow, even my wife who watches Friends
My
almost
wife.
every waking moment of her life says she'd pick Fresh Prince.
That's true. This is a tough one, guys, but I think I'm going to agree with Andy and go with Fresh Prince. It's just more of an iconic song. My kids know the words to that song, and they haven't even really watched the show. So I'm going to go with Fresh Prince. Mike, what would you have chosen?
Probably Fresh Prince. I like the Friends theme song, but
dang, New Girl's a great show, Caitlin. That's an awesome show. If you haven't seen New Girl,
oh God, don't get RJ on talking about the New Girl yet.
New Girl's good. It's a great show.
You guys can have your own podcast about it.
Everybody except for Zoe Deschanel is great on that show. I mean, I like Zoe too, but like, come on, Winston Bishop, come on. Anyways, moving on.
Said every white guy ever.
Come on. You know?
So, RJ, talk about the Rembrandts, because Jesus, I think you've been waiting for the whole 52 minutes to talk about the Rembrandts.
I mean, this popular song by the Rembrandts actually became a #1 single on the American pop charts. It hit #1 on the mainstream top 40 Billboard, and it was a weekly #1 in Scotland and Canada. But no, I'll Be There For You. Great song. It's actually listed as one of the worst songs ever by Blender. But on the other hand, it's one of the best TV theme songs of all time, according to The Observer and Paste and Complex, which are magazines I read all the time. I really like it. I actually just listened to an acoustic version of I'll Be There For You because it kept playing in YouTube. I forgot to stop it. And the Rembrandts were playing live, and they were so good. I liked it. It's a great song.
It's catchy. I think my disdain for it is it's on every day in my house. It is the song. My wife watches it going to sleep. My wife watches it every night before going to sleep. So I am a person who likes complete darkness when I sleep.
Oh, me too. Gosh.
But instead I have this TV shining its bright light at me. And it does not make me a shiny, happy person, which was actually going to be the original theme song of Friends. So REM. Yeah. So that would have been an interesting one. Imagine hearing that one for the past 17 years of my life. Or no. REM doesn't even like that song. So
that is a good song though. I don't care.
When you make a song and you're like, I don't like it, it's usually it's either because you played it so much and you just grew to hate it, or you're just like, I don't know why people like this. This is not good.
I feel that way about half of our songs.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I think it's interesting. We are in the finals right now, and the two final songs are both hip hop songs. Out of all the ones, I guess that's true. That's true. It was Extreme with an X. It's In Living Color versus The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Which song is the top 90s theme song of the 90s?
Should we talk about both songs before we even make a decision on this one?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot about In Living Color. The show itself is amazing, and the In Living Color song was great. I remember the Fly Girls, dancing in the background. You had kind of the actually fun fact that I think I do remember is in the Living Color band actually sued In Living Color in the first season, and it ended up resulting in a color change of the logo so that it looked less like the Living Color logo. But that's what I remember about Living Color.
Yeah. So the lyrical content for the Living Color theme song, which is actually called "'Cause That's the Way You're Living When You're in Living Color" is the full title of the song. But reading through the lyrics, it's really a song about how the show that they were on was all races, all creeds, all colors, and everyone just came together to really just have fun, have a funny show. Anyone watching could relate to the show. You know, and it's you know, the lyrics are super uplifting, probably more culturally relevant today than they even were back then. You know, as far as society in general, maybe TV was something different because you didn't really see the kind of sketch comedy. I mean, looking at SNL, you might see someone, you know, who wasn't white every once in a while. But honestly, I mean, let's be honest, SNL was predominantly white folks in the 80s and 90s. But you know, reading through the lyrics is really what it's all about. You know, and that's a pretty powerful message. And then you've got Fresh Prince on the other hand, which similar sort of idea, so to say, as for the show. You have someone who's kind of from Philadelphia, he's from the ghetto, and then he ends up living with his aunt and uncle in BelAir, you know, in a huge mansion. You know, his uncle's a judge and makes a gazillion dollars apparently because the house is huge. The mom doesn't work. They have a you know, couple of kids. Yeah, they have a butler that apparently went to boarding school, according to the episode I watched the other day. Yeah, these are, you know, super good songs, and they're not stuck in the 90s. Like they mean as much now as they did back then. This is a really tough decision.
Yeah, both songs are done by what would be considered like the wholesome acts of hip hop. You know, you have Will Smith, who, I don't know if he ever cursed on a record. You know, his songs are always,
He did,
you know, the anti-hardcore hip hop style that was predominantly featured in the early 90s. And then you had Heavy D, which, you know, he literally had a song called Don't Curse, and it was kind of a play on words. Like they would basically go to curse and it would kind of cut out. And but, you know, he found success with Now That We Found Love, which was more of an up-tempo kind of song. It was Heavy D and the Boys. So he had G Wiz, which was another vocalist, Trouble T. Roy, and then producer Eddie F. Eddie F has done a bunch of stuff. But Heavy D had a really successful career in hip-hop. While he was still a recording artist, he actually was really instrumental in getting P. Diddy his first intern gig. So kind of got his foot into the door of the music industry, and we all know, you know, he took off from there. Then he became president of Uptown Records. He actually, so RJ will like this one, he actually helped develop the boy band group Soul For Real.
Soul For Real, great shit.
So he was actually executive producer and principal writer of several songs on that Candy Rain album. And then he became the senior vice president of Universal Music. So he had a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff. The Living Color song too kind of got I won't say a revamp, but kind of came back into society a little bit when Bruno Mars and Cardi B did the Finesse remix. And the music video was essentially the In Living Color set, and they kind of had the whole play on the Fly Girls dancing and things like that. So it's kind of that blast from the past. Then you got Fresh Prince, where it doesn't matter if you watch a show, everybody knows those lyrics from start to the end. Kids, like you said, kids know this song. This show hasn't been around for how long? 30 years?
30 years, yeah.
Yeah. You know, they just did the reunion. But still, like that is a song when it comes on, when the show comes on, you don't skip it because it's so fun to sing along with. It did cause a little bit of controversy in 2013. So I don't know if you guys knew this, that it actually caused a school to actually go in a lockdown mode. So a receptionist called a student to remind him that he had an appointment, and it actually went to a voicemail. And this kid basically did the Fresh Prince as his voicemail. and she misheard the shooting some b-ball out of the school as shooting some people outside the school. So police came down, the whole school in lockdown, and yeah, big misunderstanding. They actually took the kid into custody and realized it's just the Fresh Prince song. I just totally misheard that. Apparently this also was only released on an album in the Netherlands and blew up over there. So Holland,
yeah, it was certified silver, I think, right? Over 200,000 sales or something.
So that totally explains Goldmember and Austin Powers. Like that's why he wore that tracksuit, because he was stuck in 90s hip hop, because that was a song that played over and over for him. What are you talking about?
Well, you stole my thunder. I was gonna say I am voting for the song that shut a school down, and it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So that's my vote for today. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as the top 90s theme song.
We should talk.
What are you saying, Mike? What are you saying?
Oh man. I mean, Fresh Prince. I love In Living Color. I love the show. I love the theme song. But yeah, the Fresh Prince theme song. It's so good. I mean, you nailed it on the head. Everybody knows the lyrics. Everybody knows the words to Yo Home to Bel-Air is the real name of the song. Yeah, it's just a fun song. You never skip it. Anytime it comes on TV, everyone's singing along to it. You know, no one sings the In Living Color song because they don't really know the lyrics. But everyone knows the show. But you know, I don't feel like anyone really reveres the theme song as you know, as much as we do the Fresh Prince theme song.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, at that rate, Andy, what are you going to put your vote in?
I'm going with the Fresh Prince. Absolutely. 100%.
All right.
It won our best TV show. It got the best song. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it, guys. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has won, I think, maybe a second episode. 90s top theme songs of TV. I've said that weird. But yeah, Fresh Prince. So it's brought to you by printyourbrackets.com.
They're going to start sponsoring us.
Yeah, they do.
Or they're going to tell us to stop mentioning everything.
Please don't sell our brand.
But yeah, that's it. Top TV of the 90s, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm looking forward to, after doing this, I'm looking forward to prior to the 90s. I'm looking forward to the 80s and the 60s. In particular, I watched a lot of 60s TV. I watched a lot of 80s TV. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I actually think maybe in the future, we should do like an all-time winners one, you know, like Fresh Prince versus the Golden Girls, you know, something like that. I think that might be pretty good.
We should have a counter of how many times RJ has said about the Golden Girls tonight. Like prior to this podcast.
He's a big B. Arthur fan.
I can't believe the Golden Girls. Like that's going to be on the next one. The Golden Girls is going to be on this one.
The Golden Girls. I heard there's a remake coming with Rachel McAdams. No, that's untrue. It's untrue. I don't want to spread lies on the podcast, but
this is where you heard it first. If it happens, this is where it happened.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams, you owe us some royalties. So what songs weren't on here that you guys wanted?
Oh man, I was mad. ER was one of my favorite shows of all time, and you guys left that out. Boy Meets World, when this boy meets world.
See, I hate that theme song.
Oh, come on. Seventh Heaven. That's all I know. But that's a great song. Sister almost made it on the list.
Sister was a good one for sure.
Yeah. So those were like my top ones. I think America's Funniest Home Videos was the one that got the cutoff, right? Wasn't that like 89 it started? Yeah. So that'll be in the 80s one more likely.
So, Home Improvement didn't make the cut, which is a good one.
Home Improvement didn't make the cut. You're right. That was a good one. Yes, Mary Tyler Moore. That will be on my prior to 90s TV theme songs.
The Drew Carey Show didn't make it on here. You know, Cleveland Rocks. Show. No? Okay.
Oh, that is a good theme song. You're right.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, yeah.
The X-Men animated theme song is amazing. amazing. Even if you don't like the show.
Did Beverly Hills 90210, did that start in the 90s?
I think it was going to be on the list. I listened to it later after I denied it, and then ended up going, oh, I actually kind of like that. That was like that was a really good one. I never saw the show. Not even a minute of that show. No.
King of the Hill also not on the list.
Not a huge King of the Hill fan. I wasn't.
The Replacements.
We definitely didn't talk about Martin.
I almost
a good one.
Almost put that on my list.
Martin
Almost
Lawrence?
put it on my list. Yeah.
Oh no, I never
saw
that show.
Martin like 100 times. Like
Beavis and Butthead also not on here.
I listened to that. And I almost don't remember it. Like I loved Beavis and Butthead, but I just for some reason that theme never stuck with me.
A highly underrated one is Living Single with Queen Latifah. Like you don't have to even watch a show, even though I did. I liked it. Queen Latifah sing, act, rap.
I mean,
she's an action star now, right?
Yeah,
she's in that weird action movie.
Can't do Queen Latifah.
Wrath of Her Madness. You want to hear a really good hip hop song? That's one right there. No, you don't hear?
No, actually, no. I'm sure she's good. I just keep remembering her and Jimmy Fallon in some crazy taxi movie.
Taxi. It was just called Taxi.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking of crazy.
This is my crazy taxi movie. Was it called Taxi? Was it called Yellow Car with Checkered Stripes?
Smallville. I never watched that. I wanted to, but I never did. Thank you, Lori. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Some of you are here for the big news. Some of you are here just to see our faces, and we appreciate it either way. But Mike is our new friend on the podcast, who is now a equal partner of the podcast. He is slowly taking over.
Finally get my cut.
While we're here of the quarter, while we're here, before we end, we just want to kind of talk about how important it is, if you can, to not only like us on Facebook or like us on YouTube, but follow us as well. Facebook has a lot of algorithms, so you probably don't see every post that we do. So if you want, you can also, on top of liking us, you can go on to above that and go to follow us, and it will allow you to see a little bit more of our stuff. Also, when you do see our posts, if you do the reactions to them, like love and hearts and all that deal above the likes, it actually allows you to see a little bit more as well. So, just little things like that. If you can do that for us, share our stuff as well. Even if you don't want to watch us anymore, maybe you don't like us, share it with your friends or share it with your enemies, whatever you want. But on YouTube as well, if you follow us on YouTube or on Spotify, you'll get actually in your Spotify playlist, you'll get our episodes in your new release radar if you follow us on Spotify. So someone unlike me, I do that, and it's weird seeing myself in the new release radar. But if you do it, it might be good. But I think Caitlin says it best. What time is it?
One more minute till the end of the night. But how could we end when it feels so right?
I am voluntarily sleeping on the couch tonight.
But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you to Patty for joining us. First time listener, I think, or at least first time talker. But she shared our podcast. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We have plenty more down the road. This is only the beginning of season 2. If you're just coming into us for the first time, season 1's got about 21 episodes that you can go check out, ranging from music to TV to wrestling, if that's your thing. We just had a kind of a mini viral episode go with our interview with wrestling graphic designer Richard Fonseca. So that was really awesome to see. And we've got a bunch of stuff coming down the line. Top 2000s Comedies is getting released soon. And something else I can't remember this one. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Anything else to say?
I would say if anyone has a specific topic or something we haven't talked about, they want to hear us or see us argue about, let us know.
Best,
that's all I got.
best Drake's cakes versus Little Debbie, and we just go into a coma just eating the most sugary things.
Don't spoil it.
In other news, I am having my wife is having a baby in 2 days. 2 days, my wife. So we will have 4 kids this Thursday. So
you're a little undisputed era now.
That's true. I'm very mad.
They broke up. Now you gotta.
Okay, is it backwards? Want to do it like this? Does it work out? Okay. But yeah. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it.